Welcome to Don't Quote Me on That. One day we will have an intro, but today is not that day.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Kalina, and welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That, where we kind of talk about movies. As you can see, it is just me, and I'm trying something a little different. Eleanor is traveling, my usual co-host, if you're new here. Eleanor's traveling for a couple weeks for work, so it's just going to be really tricky for us to record, unfortunately. So you're probably going to get a couple episodes, if not a lot of episodes, of me just by myself. And this is actually my birthday episode, so great job, Eleanor, for leaving me on all days my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. Tomorrow? My birthday's tomorrow. Yes, my birthday's tomorrow. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be watching The Bear on Netflix. And I kind of wanted to do this like our Euphoria episodes that we did, I think earlier this year, because I think it'd be fun. I would like to do them at a higher level because it was a mess when we did them. I don't think we finished the show. It was like bonus episodes, so we did them on Mondays instead of Fridays, but we did not make it every single Monday. It horrific. Eleanor and I spent the whole time trying to like remember what the plot of the episode was before we could even like dissect it. So I'm gonna do this a little bit more vloggy style, kind of like I've seen a couple like booktubers I watch, specifically Carrie Can Read. Yeah, Carrie Can Read. She does like vlogs while she's reading specific books, and I really enjoy those. And she does these really funny ones where she reads like these trashy or like not even trashy, but like YA kind of stereotypical fantasy romance novels, and I always enjoy those when I don't have time to read personally. But she like checks in as she's reading, gives you an update on the plot, how far along in the book she is, and her thoughts, and kind of like dissects it that way. So I think that'd be a good way for me to do this. And I wanted to watch The Bear. I've been kind of like hemming and hawing about it, so I thought it'd be fun to do. I just wanted to do this like first little intro clip. So this is like day one, Kalina, talking about what I know going into The Bear. I know it's on Hulu. I know it has Jeremy Allen White in it. He's from Shameless. And I know it's about a chef. And I found out recently, I think John Bernthal is like a guest star, like kind of in it, but not like a main player. So that's my first check-in. That's like 0%. This is what I know going in. Synopsis of the show that I won't even like bother to look up because I don't mind watching a show when I'm like kind of going in blind like that. So we'll check back in with you guys when I'm starting the first episode. I'm about to start episode 1, season 1 of The Bear. We'll take you along with me. I'm gonna try to get like to the opening credits, unless the opening credits are like 15 minutes into the episode. Also, I see here that the episode's like about a half hour, and I miss that. I like a good half-hour episode, especially when you're gonna do, like, even though it's only an 8-episode season. A lot of shows obviously used to do like 24-episode seasons, 30 minutes. That's fine, but like I like a good 30-minute episode. Sometimes I feel like 45 is like pushing it a little bit too much. You're trying to squeeze too much out of there. So I like a good half-hour episode. Okay, I know I said I was gonna check back in when the credits were over. The show is called The Bear. There's been a bear. It hasn't even been a minute in. Okay. Also, this is giving very made me think of Transformers when he's walking with the opening shot. He's walking down the bridge. The two like lights are glaring. Looks very Transformers-y. I'm sorry. I just wasn't expecting to see a bear. He's dreaming, right? I'm assuming he's dreaming. I don't know what other scenario in which this would be happening. I do like how the like filming style, the shots and stuff changed between the dream and here. 1, to kind of increase the urgency. 2, there's a lot of ambient sound, especially these video games. It's like very much like living in your head. Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to give you play-by-play, but this is the first couple of like minutes. But it does a really good job of like bringing you into where he's at, kind of a mess. You know, a lot of papers. There's like W-2s. Obviously, this guy Michael is dead. Seems like they were at the very least very close, working in this business restaurant together. But it's like all building. There's a lot of noise happening in the background. It's very fast-paced, shot to shot to shot. So far, so good. It has also only been 2.5 minutes. I promise, I'll check back in. I'll wait a while before the next check-in. Okay, update. We have met Sydney and Richie. Sydney and Carmi are the only two people I can stand so far. I don't get why Tina's being so difficult, pretending she doesn't speak English when she doesn't want to. Like, it all seems like everyone who's working in the restaurant was there before Carmi got there, but it seems like Carmi knew the guy who was in charge. Is like, he's not like, he's good at what he does chef-wise. Yeah, I don't get why they're all giving him a hard time. It seems like they should be working for the same goal. Carmen seems like he wants to do well, have the place succeed. He's been running up and down. Like, obviously the rest of them didn't see this, but he's been running up and down trying to get the place together, get a menu together, get food for them to be able to cook. And then Sydney said he was like a really good chef at a really good restaurant. So like, how'd he end up here? And what's he doing there? And he said making sandwiches. So like, I don't know, like the way like chefing, what's the word? The way like kitchen crews, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, are always presented. It seems like they're very close-knit. And I guess it could kind of be hard to someone new's coming in, but it doesn't seem like he's a complete foreigner and a complete stranger to them either. So I'm really confused about the dynamics that are going on here. Also, Richie has annoyed me in the last 2 minutes. I really like how like everything kind of slowed down and stopped when him and Richie were in the walk-in freezer discussing like the way Carmen's running things. And then also turns out Michael's his brother. So Richie's like getting on his case. He's like, you can't come in here and change the way we do things. They're used to doing things a certain way. You've got to run it by me first because I was running the place. Which I can see his point. Like there's an established system. Even if you're known, even if you have the expertise, you cannot come in and make new rules on day one, so to speak, or even day 2 or day 3. But at the same time, I get Carmen's point of why didn't he leave the business to you? He's my brother. And I think people are being very insensitive about that because before we knew it was his brother that passed away. And he was on the phone with Lou, whatever her name was. And he was like, yeah, I miss him too, implying she said that she missed him. Like, obviously he misses him. It's his brother. And not to be like, there's a grief Olympics, but like, it's really hard to argue with family of the deceased, closer family. Richie, I guess, would also be the guy's cousin, but like, that's his brother. A little bit of a difference. It's gonna suck for Sydney, but like, it's really good and really smart. I don't even know if he was doing this intentionally, but for Carmi to bring someone else who's new, who doesn't know how the system worked, because at least he has one person on his side. I really appreciate that they're not really showing him doubting himself in the moment. I'm hoping we do get to see that later because I think it would be understandable, but he's like sticking it to them. Richie's giving it to him and he's giving it right back. I don't think it's like unreasonable of them to be giving him a hard time because they're not used to this system. But at the same time, it's not like a complete stranger's walked into their place of business and become the manager and said, we're doing things my way or the highway now. It is someone who, 1, knows the business as a whole, 2, knew the person who was running the business before, and 3, clearly has its best interests at heart. I think it'd be very hard to make an argument. And to be fair, we don't have a lot of backstory about Carmen. Richie made a comment about him not coming home to take care of his mom. So like maybe there's a little like animosity, not just between Richie and Carmen, but between the staff and Carmen, because it seems like a really close-knit team. And so maybe they know these things. But I think it'd be hard-pressed to be like, yeah, obviously Carmen's coming here to run the business into the ground because he hated it. Like, he didn't. He's clearly here. He's clearly trying to do his best. He's doing what he thinks is best. So even if they don't agree on like what the process or the steps should look like, they should agree on the end result. And, you know, don't knock it till you try it. Try it differently. If it gets screwed up, you can always say, oops, and change it. I think about this a lot when I watch things like Kitchen Nightmares, Queer Eye, especially like Anthony's portion of the episodes, because I think food is something that is made to be inaccessible and elite for no reason. It's one of those things that like there's value placed in it because we said there was, and these like rare things you can hardly get, and they're unusual to eat and things like that. But it's kind of like diamonds to me. Like when it comes to food, I can't agree entirely with Carmen's side on this is the proper way to do it. Not that he said that, but that's kind of the persona, that's kind of the demeanor he's presenting and the attitude he's presenting by the way he's changing things. However, I don't think it's unreasonable to also want to elevate basic food. There are, within reason, food can be good no matter the quality, no matter the culture it comes from, no matter the class it is associated with, within reason, of course. But like, sometimes there is like, you could give me the finest lobster in the world, there is nothing that is going to hit the spot quite like a good bowl of chili. Those are very different vibes, very different cultures and classes they're associated with. But that doesn't make one better than the other just because one's considered more elite and more expensive and more like elusive and exclusive. So I can kind of see the team's point, but I do think they're giving him a hard time for no reason. But also, he's the protagonist. He's one of the one character I knew going into the show, so I might be feeling for him a little bit more than the others just for those reasons. Also, still no opening credits, so I'm glad I didn't wait till then. Another little update. I'm in my bed, if you all couldn't tell also, so I'm laying down now. I just want to give a little prediction before I get too much further along. I think Carmi's about to flip his lid. He's been looking for his knife this whole time, and Tina was like, Tina, do you have my knife? And she said, did you use my pot? I'm like, this is not we're trying to have the same goal here. We want to have a successful restaurant. Even if you don't agree with how I am doing that, don't be difficult, like, don't be actively difficult. Anyway, he sees what I am assuming is his knife shoved under, like, on the floor underneath one of the stoves or something. And he looks like he's about to lose it. I mentioned a little earlier about how, like, I really think it'd be interesting to see, like, when he has a moment of peace, a moment by himself, how he's actually processing everything versus the, like, front. I don't even know if it is a front, but versus the give it right back to them attitude he's had this whole time, where like Richie's like, you can't change things, and he's like, yes I can and I will. When he was by himself in the bathroom, just the couple of shots before this, you can hear the bear growling in the background, and he's like, it doesn't even look like he's like taking a moment to be like and just take a breath. It looks like he's taking a moment to like contain all of the rage inside of him. And then one of the worst things ever is just not being listened to and ignored. And his cousin Richie's telling the crew a story, and the only person listening to him is Sydney. And Carmi's like, listen, we gotta get together. We have to start service in an hour. And Richie's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, listen, we'll blah, blah, blah. I'm telling a story, just a second. And he's just ignoring him, and they're all ignoring him completely. Richie's the only one who like acknowledges him. And even then, he only kind of does. And then my man sees his knife on the floor. I think he is about to lose his mind. So I will check back in if he does. Or if he doesn't, I'll check back in after. Is his sister's government name Sugar? Please say no. Also, he did not flip his lid. We just cut to another scene of beef. A little disappointed, to be honest with you. So, but I think Marcus, not Ibrahim, the older guy, Marcus, is a little bit on his side. So I'll see how that goes, because his cousin was like, he labeled everything and now it's confusing. Where's the chili flakes? And Marcus was like, right here where it says chili flakes. So, and then he was looking at his an award he got for like Rising Chef of the Year or something. But yeah, is his sister's government name Sugar? Because that's also how he has her saved in his phone. And like, I don't call my brother by his name, but I don't have him, I don't know, I'm a little clinical, to be fair. I don't have him saved as his nickname in my phone. Update, don't think his sister's government name is Sugar because she just called him Bear, which it makes sense. This is the bear. He's the bear. I'm putting it together. But then why in his dreams is he wrestling a bear? Is he just fighting himself? He's fighting himself. It's a metaphor. I also did really like the little bit of info background we got when he was like, I'm gonna fix this place, and his sister said, nobody's asking you to. So it doesn't really seem like he came back from like pressure for the family to take it over. Clearly not pressure from his cousin, but pressure from his family to like carry on his brother's legacy, I suppose. But it could also be a little bit of guilt on his part. Still not entirely sure if he's in it just for wanting to carry on the legacy of his brother, or if he's in it for guilt, because like I said, there's that little bit of not coming back to take care of your mom hanging over him that Richie mentioned. Don't do that. It makes me feel a little better that everyone else was like, yeah, Richie sucks. Like I said, I do think Marcus is a little bit on Carmi's side, but Marcus is like, has Ricky always been just the worst? And fact facts. I was like, yeah, he just always in front, but he's sad inside.
Got a stew, rice, plantains, and a little fennel salad.
Alright, I'm interested either. Yo, let's do this.
It's plant and not plantain.
This looks like shit.
Any of you incels doing a 4chan Snyder Cut motherfuckers want to get online now? Anybody?
Okay, maybe Richie was good for something. He just brought out the gun to quell the crowd, because otherwise Carmen would have been getting his ass beat in the middle of the street. But also I think it's very rude of Richie to be like, it's not my house. It's not. It's very hard, I think, to work with family or in a community where you feel like family, because if someone has to pull rank, which is going to happen, you feel resentful of them pulling rank, even though that is their job, that is their title, that is their whole reason for being there, that is their capacity. So I don't know, I think there's an art to pulling rank. I don't think Carmen is necessarily doing it well, but I don't think he's working with people who would take it well no matter how he did it. So it's rather he be blunt and upfront about it. I'm team Carmen, if you guys can't tell. Okay, so just finished episode 1. I like the nice little moment at the end. I, unfortunately, I can't believe I'm saying this, agreed with Richie when he was yelling at him after the two of them came back and sat outside from talking to the crowd. Richie was like, today's not the day to be messing with things. We need to make sure we have enough money to enough food to feed these people. Go make the spaghetti. Like, I like the nice little moment at the end where he's making the spaghetti. And Marcus is like, you were right about the bread, like, because Marcus was like, don't tell me how to cook. And, like, he's just trying to help. So when he was like, look, you were right about the bread, the steam tray. And he was like, you can throw down, like, you know what you're doing, right? And then Carmen was just like, yeah, can you give me some cheese? So I wonder if it's easier for Carmen to not talk about it because it'll make him sad or angry, like his past and his skill and his expertise. Or if he's just trying to put that part of his, like, that part of his life behind him. But then when he said, yeah, can you just grab me a parm brick? Marcus goes, heard, chef, which are two things that he's been trying to implement, the communication and the chef as a sign of respect. And then he throws the can of spaghetti sauce in the trash. So he's like, you know what, I can do this my way. I just have to put the work in and they will follow. You know, if you build it, they will come sort of vibe. Yeah, so this is my little birthday treat to myself. I'm really excited to see the next episode. So I'll do these, like, as I watch them and upload them as the weeks go on. Like I said, it's probably just going to be me for a little while. Not that that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you guys. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. I'll catch you on the next episode of The Bear for sure. And have a good weekend. No spoilers. But let me know if there's anything spoiler-free I should look out for, should be anticipated for. Thoughts and comments on the show. Let me know. Comment down below. We're on Instagram at Don't Quote Us on That, and TikTok at Don't Quote Us on That, and then on Twitter at Don't Quote Us 27. So love to chit chat, love to hear things. So just add us, comment, subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. How do people do this vlogging business? It's very hard to talk. Thanks for listening. Don't quote me on that. One day we'll have an outro, but it's not today.